Hello and welcome. As someone who's spent my career in modern hospitality operations, I am so pleased to be here to guide you on your online learning journey with Europe Hotel School. We're truly dedicated to helping you grow as a professional in this incredible industry. Today, we're going to dive right into a skill that is absolutely critical for any modern professional: the art of remote de escalation. I want you to really think about that for a second. You've got a guest who is clearly frustrated. Maybe their voice is tense on the phone, or you get an email that's just sharp and demanding. You can't see them. You can't read their body language. This, right here, is one of the biggest challenges in modern hospitality. And learning to master this is what will separate you from being just good to being truly exceptional. So here's our game plan for this masterclass. We're going to build your skills step by step. First, we'll get a handle on the unique challenges of communicating from a distance. Then we'll work on building the right professional mindset. After that, we'll get into the specifics, the tools you need for phone and email. Then we'll cover how to pivot towards solutions, and finally, how to lock in that guest's loyalty and leave them feeling completely reassured. All right, let's jump right in. Our first section gets to the very heart of the problem. How do you communicate effectively when you're missing all those crucial signals you normally have in a face-to-face conversation? Okay, first things first, let's get on the same page. What do we even mean by de-escalation? It's not about winning an argument. It's not about proving you're right. It's really just about calming the waters. The whole goal is to lower that emotional temperature so you can actually start talking and solving the problem together. This chart lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? When you're in person, you have this huge wealth of non-verbal cues to work with: body language, eye contact, you name it. But when you're remote, your toolkit totally changes. You have to become a master of the subtleties: the warmth in your voice, the precise words you choose, even how you structure the conversation. Empathy can't just be something you feel, it has to be something you actively communicate. Building right on that, let's move into our second section. Before you even think about picking up that phone or typing a single word, the most important work happens right inside your own head. This all comes down to professional discipline. So here's the thing you have to remember. The anger you're facing, it might not really be about the one single issue they're telling you about. It could be the final straw after a long, stressful travel day, or just plain exhaustion. A true professional gets this. They lead with patience, which lets them absorb that initial blast of intensity without immediately reacting to it. This is the golden rule. If you take away only one thing today, let it be this: never, ever take a guest's anger personally. Because the second you do, you get defensive. And a defensive response is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It just escalates everything and kills any chance of a positive outcome. Okay, now that we've got our mindset right, let's get tactical. This section is all about the specific tools you're going to need for the two most common remote channels: the good old-fashioned phone call and, of course, email. On the phone, your voice is everything. It's your primary tool. A calm, steady tone immediately sends a nonverbal signal to the guest that they're in safe, capable hands. Your pacing is also super important. Talk too fast and you sound nervous or dismissive. Too slow and you might sound patronizing. And please don't forget the power of just listening. Sometimes a guest just needs to vent. Let them speak and use simple verbal nods like "I understand" to show that you're right there with them, validating what they're feeling. Now, email, that's a whole different ballgame. You know how easy it is to misinterpret the tone of a text or an email? That's what we have to fight against. Short, abrupt sentences can come across as cold or dismissive. So structure is everything. Always use the guest's name to add a touch of warmth. Be crystal clear about what the problem is and exactly what you're going to do next. Trust me, every single word counts. So the guest feels heard, and then emotional intensity has started to come down. Great. What now? Well, this is where we learn the real art of the pivot: how to skillfully guide the conversation away from the emotion and steer it toward a resolution. This 3-step protocol is your roadmap. And you must always start with step 1, acknowledging their feelings. If you try to skip this part, any attempt to pivot is just going to feel like you're brushing them off. Only after they feel heard can you gently start to reframe the conversation, moving from what went wrong to here's what we can do now. And that final step, offering choices, well, that's where the real magic happens. So why is that so effective? It's all about psychology. A huge reason people get so upset is that they feel powerless, like they've lost all control. By offering them small, simple choices, you're literally handing that control back to them. It could be something as simple as, would you prefer if I called you back this afternoon, or would first thing tomorrow morning be better? That tiny act restores their sense of agency and brings them on your side. We've successfully de-escalated the situation, and we're on the path to a solution. But our job's not over yet. This next part is about how we transform a simple, resolved issue into a moment that actually builds guest loyalty for the long run. Look at this timeline. This is the positive transformation we're aiming for. When you handle a tough situation with real skill, you guide the guest along this exact emotional journey. They start off angry, but because of your efforts, they feel heard. That allows them to become collaborative, which leads to them feeling truly resolved. This journey is the secret pathway to loyalty. And here's the crucial part. It's all built on trust. All that fantastic de-escalation work you just did can be completely wiped out by one broken promise. If you say you're going to follow up in an hour, you do it in an hour. Consistency proves that you're reliable, and it makes the guest feel secure and genuinely cared for. We've now reached the final, and I'll be honest, the most often overlooked step in this whole process. This is all about how you end the conversation, leaving a lasting impression of total professional excellence. See, just fixing the practical problem is only half the battle. A true master of hospitality knows you also have to close the emotional loop. What does that mean? It means ensuring the guest doesn't just have their solution, but that they feel resolved, that they feel respected. This is that final polish that guarantees they remember the amazing recovery, not the initial problem. And this really sums up the ultimate goal. This skill isn't just about damage control or putting out fires. It's an opportunity. Every single tense interaction is a chance for you to show the highest level of professional care, turning what could have been a bad review into a story of exceptional service and a powerful reason for that guest to come back again and again. So, as we close out, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Which of these skills will you focus on mastering first? Will it be perfecting your tone of voice, nailing that strategic pivot, or making sure you always close the emotional loop? The path to excellence begins with mastering one single step at a time. Thank you so much for your attention today.